right, good morning guys. Happy Saturday morning. Been getting a lot of questions lately, some of the videos I put out of the bulls that I shoot on forums, a couple different questions. So I figured I'd make a video today kind of going through my two bulls, my two last purchases, and the pros and cons, and they're bulls from China. So I'm not trying to take any business away from anyone who builds custom bulls and anything like that. Just in how I am at my age with my income, buying these bulls are a lot more reasonable than buying a custom bull or a higher ILF rig. So I'll kind of start with my first one I bought. If you watch my restrung video, which you definitely should, it's the bull that my grandpa and I built together. We built one of each. I built a 55 pounder, he built a 40 and a 25 pounder. And it's one called the Black Hunter. The Black Hunter is a bull that comes from China. I bought it from Mandarin Duck, bamboo core limbs. I think I paid $120 and then some extra to ship it. I did paint the limbs. For 120 bucks, it's really hard to beat. I put a little arrow catcher on it, 55 pounds. Put a mountain muffler string on it with some wool silencers. Hey, come on, get. And these are the arrows I worked up. These are the gold tip blemished. Now, I'll kind of make this movie around a budget-minded traditional archery shooter, someone wanting to get into the sport. For me, these are my really only options. I can't afford a custom bow. My wife would murder me. I can't always buy all these expensive arrows, so anytime I find deals, I jump on them. These are the gold tip blemish 340s. I found them on eBay for 60 bucks. Trad vanes and some wraps, brass inserts, and some points. I mean, you're looking at an arrow setup for way less than 100 bucks. So for me, that's the way I went. They're 31 and a half inches, 31 and a quarter maybe, with 250 grains up front, running around 620, 630 grains. It's what I shot that buck with last year. Arrow worked awesome. I also shoot Zwickey broadheads. Again, they're broadheads my grandpa had. They're 15 to 20 bucks for 4 or 6. To me, you can't get much better than that. So that's the first one. I'm not going to go too extensively into this one. It's just a Black Hunter. You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them, probably eBay has them. They're a good bull for what it is. My next journey, I kind of wanted to jump into the ILF world. For me, I shot compound for a little bit, so I'm always intrigued by technology and the look. A Hoyt Satori looks freaking sweet. I wish I could afford one. I've always wanted one. So I was bumming around on a Facebook on traditional archery or some poop like that, and I came across this T-bow. To me, it's like, okay, I don't know how I feel about this. It's probably a chintzy cheap riser. It's a clone of a Hoyt Satori, and it was 180 bucks. Did some research, jumped into it. I was like, oh man, might as well. I have nothing to lose. It's $180. So that's kind of what I'll go through now. I'm actually going to build some arrows for it, which is going to be a different video on how I tune it, new string, that type of stuff. But I'll just kind of jump into a little bit of the actual bow. Alright, so we're going to get on with this T-bow here. I paid $180 from China. It took a month to get in, free shipping. So I got it. Not overly impressed with the finish. My limbs had a couple things in them. My riser has a couple things in them. So I kind of always shoot the same weight. That bow is 55. I shoot a 50-pound longbow, and then this one I got at 55 pounds as well. I'm 5'11". I draw about 27 inches. I don't know why. I just have a short draw length. So I started shooting the bow, figured, okay, I have arrows already made for this. Those blemished arrows, actually, when I tuned them up, they were my second batch of arrows because I bought some Beeman 340s. I wanted a 300 or a 550 grain arrow, and I ended up cutting them all too short. So even with like 350 grains on the front, they didn't work. So I ended up buying those blemished, got those to work. They're a little heavier grains per inch, but for me, it was cheap. So when I bought the T-bow, I was hoping I was going to be able to work up my other Beemans that I messed up. I tried over and over and over, and I could not get good arrow flight. So something was wrong. I was trying to figure out, I was diving in, what the hell could be going on. Jacked up my tip weight. I was always getting a kick, and I was like, what the hell? So I just started digging into it, and it's kind of a rookie mistake. I'd never checked the limbs. So I went in and I looked at my limbs, just the alignment. I held them up, looked down it, and I could definitely tell that a limb was twisted. I put something on Facebook. People were like, yep, those limbs are twisted. I contacted the buyer or the seller on eBay, and they were like, try twisting them. So I did what they said. I twisted them. But to me, I'm not going to be working with a potentially twisted limb. So I went out and bought these TradTech Black Max 2.0s. I think they were $150. So now if you put the riser and the limbs together, you're looking at $200, $250. To me, it's safer. Better be safe than sorry. These were perfect. I do have a mountain muffler string here. Instead of wool silencers, I have this Dyneema. They're a little bit louder than the wool, but to me, they work fine. I also am experimenting with a clicker. On this bow, I'm running a bare weather rest just to try an elevated rest. And I also am experimenting with these limb savers. Again, things that I've never done before. That bow, that Black Hunter I set it up, put a string on it, it shot perfect. I didn't really want to go anywhere else with it. Now that this is an ILF rig, I want to dive deeper into tuning, stuff like that. I did mess up my serving, so I learned how to reserve because I had my lighter too close when I was trying to tie my own knocking points. So long story short, after I realized that I couldn't use those arrows, I was like, okay, I'm going to set up a new arrow. The arrows I have for my longbow are actually right here. They're 500s with, 225 up front, running 430, 440 grains. To me, that's a little light for deer hunting. I did just shoot a turkey 2 days ago with one of these camo arrows. Again, 500s. No insert weight, 175 grain tip. And they're around 470 grains. Now, I got about 7 inches of penetration on a bird. I don't know if it's because of how the arrow's set up or they're just light and it's blowing through a turkey. To me, it was good enough. It killed him real fast. The arrow stayed in him, and that's what my grandpa built the arrow for. But for me, I want something in the middle. So I have 425 that shoot out of this bow perfect. 470 that also shoot out of this bow, but I'm not going to use them for target. 630, again, that shoot out of this bow fine. So I kind of want to play in the middle. I have 500s, I have 340s. I found these on Three Rivers. These are Beeman Hunter Pros. I'm not really into camo, but for $50 for a dozen and they're .002 straightness, I'm not going to pass that up. So on to my next project. For some reason, I like my stuff to match. I'm not sure if it's just part of me. I wanted to change the design. I wanted to change the look of my bow. So I went ahead. I saw a guy who made custom strings, again on Facebook. Bought another custom string. I don't know why, but I've always loved neon colors. Everyone, I don't care what it is. So I'm going to build these arrows and this to match. Obviously, you can see all the colors in the string. I have all the colors of the trad veins. And I'm going to try to work up to a 500 grain arrow. 500, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, however it tunes. But again, these are all budget options. This is where I'm trying to go with this. This string was $20, $28, $50 for a dozen arrows. I got all my components. I'm going to try to run 150 to 200 grain tip, 50 grain brass insert if I can. My next piece of this budget thing is an Apex quiver. It's nice and long. It's got a double arrow grabber, and it's super, super solid. Holds my arrows just fine. And I think I paid $65. So the whole rig, I'm looking at $300 maybe. With the quiver, $350. And I mean, the thing is you can get into traditional archery for cheap. You can get an ILF rig like this for cheap. This is literally my dream bow. I shoot it better than any bow I've ever shot. It tunes perfect. To me, what? Do I have something? To me, it's like a dream bow for $180. If I would do it all over again, would I get the limbs with the bow? Maybe. To me, it's a cool set of backup limbs. That's why I have them. I kept them. If I need them, I'm going to have them. If I were to do this again, I think I got unlucky by getting twisted limbs. Everyone that I've talked to who's had this bow has never gotten them. So is it my bad luck? Probably. So maybe go ahead, buy the bow with the limbs, and then if you want to upgrade to a little better set of limbs or just use them, go ahead. If I were to do this again, after my experience, I would buy the riser, and I would buy the Black Max or a different set of limbs. So I'm hoping this answers some questions that I get. Again, I'll kind of go over the bow setup. Right now it's 51 pounds. I think I have like a 8.5-inch brace height. These limb savers actually did. I kind of always just saw them on a ILF rig. And I was like, I wonder if I could try them. I know I have string silencers, but I wonder what they'll do. Bought them off of Amazon. I think it was $15. Put them on my bow. Instantly noticed my bow didn't get quieter, but my hand shock went away. Not saying there was a lot. Not saying there was a little. I put it on. Now there's none. To me, they did what they were supposed to. I put them right at the fade outs just because that's what I read. I don't know shit about them. So I just kind of go off of what I read. But I am going to make a separate video, I think, on this actual bow tune. I just wanted to go over some budget options for you guys who are trying to get into traditional archery for cheap. Feel free to ask me questions. If you're not sure what arrows to get, go on Three Rivers Archery. They have a dynamic spine calculator. Play with it for a while, figure it out, ask questions. I'm more than willing to help people. I've been doing this for a while now, so I have a little bit of knowledge. Not a ton, but I can normally point you at least in the right direction. So if you guys do have any questions, feel free, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be putting more content out, and I'm really excited to actually film this arrow build. I'm hoping it turns out, I did use the Three Rivers calculator. I do hope it turns out in the 500 grains, a little more, a little less. It'll be a perfect whitetail arrow / turkey arrow, which is what I hunt in the Midwest. If I need to go heavier, I do have those that tune, but yeah, my next video is going to be taking the string off, putting the new one on, and then tuning a new set of arrows. So, and hopefully in the future, I can test the difference between shooting a turkey with the 470 grain arrow, and then with these 500s or 520 grain arrows, and then with the 600 grain arrows, just so we can see what the big difference is. But to be honest, I feel bad saying it. This bow for the price, this T-bow and that Black Hunter, it's going to be hard to beat a bow for that price. If you're in the $100, $200 range, I know a lot of people recommend buy used, but to me, this bow, being an ILF rig and being able to put whatever limbs you on it, it's super, super solid for the price. So again, make sure to like my channel or subscribe to my channel, like the video. My next video will probably be building this bow so you guys can really get an in-depth look on how I do it. Thank you.